right. Hello, hello, hello this evening. We hope that our microphone, we're not getting a huge signal here, so we're going to see what we can do to work out a microphone issue that apparently is showing up here in my screen right away. We are going to go forward with our live stream tonight for the Generations podcast. The reason for this live stream is actually quite important. We are doing a special broadcast and episode at this particular time. We're going to be kicking off a contest, and so we're going to go ahead and take you over live to our opening segment, and then I'll be back with you in just a moment um, once that kicks off. I'm not getting good volume on this, and I'm not sure why. There we go. I'm going to have to move a little closer to my microphone. Um, and that seems to be working a little better. So hopefully I'm getting the sound that I need. Let's see if I can edit that sound a little bit. And let's see here. Cancel that. Details, customization. Well, let's just get out of there. All right, I'll figure it out. Here's a button up here to this feature. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm looking at my indicators here, folks. So just bear with me as I walk through this process in hopes that I can get the volume operating a lot better than what it is now. And if we can, then that's going to be a great thing for me. All right. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and open up with our live pre-recorded opening. All right. Thank you very much. So that is the opening to the show. We want to welcome you to the Generations podcast broadcast. We hope that all is going well in this broadcast. And this is our first run. So give us your comments and please like the show if the content is coming across as something that you would be interested in. The chat is live, I believe, and so you can go ahead and begin chatting in this live stream as well. I think my screens are going to have to be expanded just a little bit here for me to operate a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. Now I can see the chat. Just remember the rules of the chat at this point. We're going to go ahead and allow you to chat and trust that everyone will behave themselves in the chat. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get back over to our live stream. Here we go. Minimize our screen just a little bit here, trying to make sure that all the aspects that I need to have operational are in fact operational, and that we're getting good sound coming through on the microphone system. So those are the things that I want to make sure we're dealing with right now. Let me go ahead and minimize the screen a little bit. We're going to exit out the full screen, and I want to pull up the next screen that we're going to talk about. The wonderful thing, like I said, is this is our 10th episode, and what we're going to be doing in this particular episode, I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down so I can see the other windows that I've got to bring up. I've kind of organized this so that it would make sense. And let's see here. There we go. All right. So we're getting the next aspect of our that's the trail of truth. I'm missing one of my screens, but let's just talk about the video log contest. That's really what I want to talk about next. Is the contest, give you all the rules. Everything is already pre-programmed, so I'm going to try and just do this. And I think let me just go ahead and pull it up. I'll pull up the file in a format that I thought I already had on my desktop. So bear with me. And I'll go through the list and the rules of the video log contest, and then that should fill you in completely on what it is we got going on and what we're going to be doing with this video log contest. So I think this might be the file here that I'm looking to open up. I hope it's got all my information in it. Let's just move forward here a little bit, and then I'll be able to tell. Yes, all right. So just take a look. We've got the information for you, and take a look, and we'll talk a little bit about it in a few moments. After you've had a chance to look at the details again, you can go ahead and begin to chat automatically. We're set and ready to go, and so that's where we're at now. Take a look. All right, so I'm going to slow this down just a little bit here and open it up, and then I'll just explain to you as we go through each of the screens. I think that's the best way to do this. There we go. All right, so the video log contest. What is Generations Vibe all about? We are about talking about historical generational legacies. And so this 10th episode for the podcast itself, for the YouTube, we're kicking off in YouTube because we're changing and expanding on the platform. But basically, what we're going to be doing here with this particular concept is we are wanting to welcome as many people as possible to share with us in this milestone. But what you're going to get out of this, I think, is even more important. So let's move forward. I want to bring up another screen here. Here we go. The Legacy Vlog Contest. That's the contest we're talking about here. This Legacy Vlog Contest is a contest by which what we are going to be doing, and I need to really enlarge this a little bit. I need to have a little less of myself. There we go. Let's just go ahead. I'll talk about it. So the Legacy Vlog Contest is a contest by which you will be allowed to, what we're encouraging you to do is to think about creating your family's heirloom in a video log format. Those things that are really important to you, that you want to make sure that you hand down to your descendants. We want to help you, and we want to encourage you and motivate you in our Legacy Vlog Contest to create that particular heirloom. Now, like I said, this is a contest, so there's more that's going to go along with this than just what you produce. We want to honor then what you produce in the contest. So we've got the rules that we're going to go over right now, and what it is that you need to make sure that you're doing in preparing your video log that we are going to judge. When they come to us, we're going to judge. We're going to decide which video logs we believe should be given a elevated honor, and we are reinvigorating one of our past award ceremonies that we've held in October. And the winners of the video logs that we choose will actually be the recipients of the heirloom of the video log contest. And so the recipients will be the winners. And the goal around this idea was rooted in a show that I saw. It's called Carrying On, and it was inspired by, this idea is inspired by Oberlin. It's a village that was rooted in freedom. And so what we're finding now is we're even finding that burial sites, especially in some of the southern parts of the nation, are actually being, have actually been not kept up. And so families are having to go on a venture to find the roots of the bodies of their family members. And so part of what we want to do is to put in the hands of our families more concrete information, so that some of the labor that goes into trying to put things together when they're needed and when it's the most inappropriate time for you to be looking for your heirlooms, you want to have them available and ready. And it's also good for raising up your children, when you got children that are coming along, and new grandchildren and great children, great grandchildren, there are pieces that you want to make sure that you pass on to them, um, and you get to decide what those are. But we want to encourage you through this video log contest to prepare to do that. So what we've got here, and our goal is we want this is a call to action today. We're kicking off today. If you're a baby boomer, that means if you're a male or female born between 1946 and 1964, we're going to stretch that out just a little bit. You're born in, and we are not limited because we're doing this virtually. So that means that you're in any of the Americas, the North, the East, the South, and the West. If you're in the islands, even if you're as far away as even Africa, we want you to prepare these video logs, and we're going to give you the details on what we're looking for so that you can begin to prepare them. So let's go ahead and we're going to move forward with the details of the information that we're going to want you to produce for us. Now, in honor of the work that you do, we are going to be giving you your flowers, and we will do this in a ceremonial format. And the prizes that you will get, we are still compiling, but you're going to have things that you will be able to partake of: family estate planning workshops. We're going to prepare an ebook of your family legacy for you. You're going to get free consultations in your family history research. You're going to get consultations in your family reunion event planning. And we're going to hopefully be able to provide you with a family photo. So these are our prizes today as we kick off, and that is what we want to be able to impart back upon you with your participation in this particular contest, video logs. Because we are set up to do this event virtually in October, the rules around entering the contest are as follows. You want to highlight your milestones, highlight those things that you feel that are very important to pass on. There may be accomplishments. There may be things that happen in the family from prior generations that have not been properly recorded, and you want to pull that information and do some videotaping of that information so that it comes forth, and you're creating a video vlog of it for future generations. The only thing that we're asking, and we're kind of stipulating how we want you to format your material, all right? We want you to format it in segments of life. So we're considering the spring segment to be the childhood age up through your high school. So from a child to entering high school. And then we're looking at the summer. We want you to title the summer season, your high school through your 20s. That segment of your life that you want to highlight. And then we want to look at the fall season as your 30s through your 40s, and that would be another segment. And then the winter season would be your 50s and beyond. We are asking for those that are 50 and older because we believe that this is the first of this competition that we have, but we're going to share it with other generations so that they can begin to deal with their milestones in a way that is more concrete for them as well. There's a lot of information that we share now, but how we are compiling it and continuing to make the value of it important to our families is what we're really wanting to encourage you to do. Now, the deadline: you must have your information recorded and sent in to us by Thursday, July the 31st. That's a lot of time to gather information, to shoot some video footage, and then get your video footage sent over to us. July 31st, 6 o'clock p.m. We want you to email your information over to tiphyah@gmail.com, tiphyah@gmail.com. We're going to share more of that with you as we go forward. So that's part of the specifications that we want you to make sure that you're aware of. The second one is, again, the contest rule is that you submit it by July the 31st. The video log can be in a multiplicities of ways. We can only accept one. and the maximum amount of time on that one has to be 30 minutes. So if it's more than 30 minutes, you're going to be removed from the competition. But as long as it's within 30 minutes, you get to compile as much information out of the spring, summer, fall, and winter season in the way that you choose. There's one entry per person. And if you're going to be separating out your seasons, a 30-minute for spring, a 30-minute for summer, et cetera, et cetera. What we want to make sure that you understand is that we will accept one entry, and we will be sending out a packet to you if you send in your request to participate, and we'll give you the details on what you will need to do there just shortly. Your submissions must include the forms that we submit to you, and that's really just a release form, and that'll be in your packet. Once you have sent us an email stating that you're going to participate, then you will be entered in the competition, okay? So let's go ahead on. We got more rules that we want to roll out to you on this competition. The format, the video format must come to us in either an MP3 or an MP4 format. So whatever you send, make sure that it's in those one or two formats, and those are pretty standard. These are not formats that you'll find difficult to, you won't need extra software or anything like that. This is your standard operating formats for most videos that most of your platforms are used right now, okay? You're going to email your file to tiphyah@gmail.com. That's on the screen. Now, you need to email it, and once you send the email, then we'll send you another copy or a PDF file with more details. We're going to show you a brief example of what your competition material would look like, and then you can go about preparing yours in any way. What we want you to do is to just make sure that you drop us an email, let us know that you are going to participate in this video log competition. If you've got a family member that's going to do it for you, that's all the better. But the entries will need to be in by the deadline. We said 31st of July. And there will be a nomination form included, the release form included in your email. So you want to email us at tiphyah@gmail.com, all right? MP3 or MP4 are the formats that we're going to accept. In the subject area of your email, just make sure if you have questions or you're submitting, please put in the subject area Legacy Vlog Challenge. Legacy Vlog Challenge, just as we've listed it on the screen. The one thing that we do need to let you know is that the material that you send to us will become our property for our marketing purposes. And so we want you to know that we will be using this information and it will be marketed. So make sure that you create your information, your video log, in a way that you're satisfied with that. If there's anything else that you're wanting to notify us about, or you have questions about, don't hesitate to just drop us an email, all right? So the Vlog Challenge honorees will be honored. Third annual Give Me My Flowers. This event will be held in October. Your deadline to get your blog items in is going to be July the 31st. So just make sure you meet that deadline and you will be considered. All of our communications with you will be online. So you want to make sure that you're talking or have someone in your family who is using email and able to communicate and keep you up to date with the information that we send. All right, so we're excited. This is going to be a joint effort. Generations Podcast, our platform. We're rolling out a new channel called Handmaids. We're going to be talking with you more about that as we go. If you are in, if you want to support us, we've also got a way for you to just support this particular contest by ordering some of our materials, and we'll show you what some of those are as we go forward. Handmaids is our new channel. You'll see that rolled out, and we will be talking more in detail about that. But what this conversation about is really about the video log contest, all right? So if you got questions, we want you to email us, but we certainly hope that you will make sure that you send us an email and plan to get involved with this video log contest. I tell you, it's going to be exciting. All right, thank you for that. Let's move on here. There we go. All right, so let's just take a look now at what a sample product looks like. And I've created a personal video log that I can share with you. And I think it's really important to do this because otherwise it's hard to know what it is that we're wanting from you. So we're going to take you into that now. That's the next step of what we're going to be doing here. And let's just start looking at what we've got here. So we've got a segment here called Trail of Truth, and that's the title of that I chose. Now you can choose a title for your legacy vlog. I just want you to make sure that you set it up so that it is categorized in the way that we've said, covering your childhood for the spring and your teenage years for the summer, etc., etc. That's the way we want. So this was my choice in the title. And the title Trail of Truth is really looking at the aspects of my life in the legacy format. Then I move on, and this is this particular segment here in the top left corner, and this is a PDF file, by the way. So this file will be sent to you when you enter the contest. So don't worry too much about me if you're not able to keep up. Don't worry about it. I'll get you the file. Sins of oppression lead to innocence passed down. The young life of our ancestors, as they were given, they gave. And so we know that there were many factors that worked against their full capabilities and the full knowledge of them gaining the full knowledge that would have been precious in our sight and would have furthered all of our generations. But we work with that because we know that we have done very well as a people, in spite of the conditions we've had to live in. So here's my youngest segment. So before I was born, my dad and my mom escaped the Jim Crow South. So I grew up in the Midwest in Denver, Colorado. My parents, who were the children of sharecroppers, both in Mississippi. After the birth of my two eldest siblings, my parents moved to Denver, and I wasn't born until after they got to Denver. I'm number 5 out of 6 children. I'll mention that as I go forward. But they left, as most people know. The lifestyle was very hard and very oppressive, and the cotton, though they made their backs made cotton king, and the wealth of this nation that was made by, of course, sharecroppers, the owners of plantations, was never adequately shared. So as they escaped the Jim Crow, they were young adults before leaving, and Dad had already been denied the opportunity to pursue his education beyond the 8th grade. And he determined that he just wanted to escape the long days and the working and receiving no real gain from the cotton fields. And he was a young man at that time, but that was how they kept food on the table, and how his dad and mom were able to provide for the family. So they were normally large families. Dad comes from a very large family, and mom as well. So along with the dangers and the threats, because there were threats of sexual abuse and death, and so I can't really put in words living in the conditions that they lived in Mississippi during that time. But I can certainly understand the desperate need and desire to get out of it. That's for sure. All right. So in addition to their escaping the Jim Crow South, on the other hand, mom, now she managed to graduate high school with great potential to go to college. But because of the structure and the background from which she came, there was not a great support around her for her going to college. And she was the eldest of all of the children. And so she did She was required to stay home, and that particular time college was it escaped her. She later, however, did go back to college and did get her certificate, her nursing certificate, and became a private duty care nurse. So she achieved that personal goal regardless of the circumstances. And I should say that Dad did well because the two of them started a business. My dad became an over the road trucker, and so for 40 plus years of his life, he drove trucks, and Mom was the office assistant, bookkeeper. Plus, she was the caretaker for us, and of course, you know the role of mothers. And so, I am the fifth child of six children in my family. So I grew up again in the area right down in what Colorado, Denver, Colorado calls the Five Points area until I was about 5 years old, because we, as people of of sharecroppers descent, considered back in those days, they used the term black people, um, or Negro people, I should say, were restricted as to where we could live, where they could live actually at that time. And so the 5 points is my childhood remembrance of the elementary school that I went to, in the kindergarten, and the just around the corner from us is where and you notice most cities, especially where they're predominantly people of Negro, Black descent, have a city, a place in the city called Five Points, where the city comes together at five different points. And so I'm certain that had to be a national movement. It certainly wasn't anything that was isolated to one community, because as in my little travels in the United States, I've found one in just about every city that I've gone into. So these segregated, red line marked locations, I'm sure, were a part of the oppressive nature that even I grew up with in the Midwest. I was old enough to where, when we would go back to the area of Mississippi, my we would go to the theater as young people, and our theater, we had to go through a separate door, buy our food at a separate counter, and sit upstairs in the separate area of the movie theater. And I lived in the earth at that time, so I seen those with my own eyes. Um, that takes care of then what I would consider to be my spring. Now I'm going to move on to the summer. I'm sorry, no, I'm not. Middle school. Middle school was the toughest time of my childhood. I've listed here, it was all about sports and fun. I met and in high school, however, yeah, I met my boyfriend, my then boyfriend, and later he became my husband. I went to middle school close to home, and then by the time I got ready to go to high school, I was bused. It was forced busing. There was a movement to try and desegregate the schools, and so the busing component was one of those. My brothers and sisters all went to another school, and by the time I became of age to go into high school, I was bussed out of the neighborhood, and my younger sister was. So, what are those greatest lessons? What are the testaments that I want to share and pass down of the childhood that are really, really, I think, important? And so that's basically what I've listed here on a separate page of this particular presentation. Peer pressure is the greatest influence. Be sure you're rooted and grounded in the Lord. Learn and live by the Proverbs. These are things that I want to share with my descendants now, and that way they have a frame of reference to pass on to their descendants. Do not be afraid to go it alone. If your own siblings, or if those that you think should be friends, but they're doing things like drugs, and they're already having sex, and they're being disobedient, resist that relationship. Don't be friends with people that you know are doing wrong. It's just, once you realize that you're in a place to where you shouldn't be, get out fast. Make sure you find activities that you enjoy to keep you busy and out of trouble. Remember to honor your parents and your grandparents and all of your elders. If you have elders who are not living obediently, just love them from a distance, all right? So then we move on, and I'm sharing here with the summer that these are the high school through the 20s. Um, the trail of truth that I gave a motto for on this season was sins of oppression lead to innocence passed down. So we've got, things that are going on. And why do I use that terminology? Well, sins of oppression. These are there are things that we must understand that when people have been oppressed, they've been locked in a life. Their life has been traumatized in the way that our ancestors have been traumatized, and we're going to be it's going to take several generations for us, and each of us then have to have the wherewithal to want to climb up out of some of that pain and that suffering and that trauma and that lack of knowledge that our parents suffered, not to no fault of their own. But once they became adults, we had to begin to look at how we can make things happen differently for our lives, and that's what adulthood provides us. So basically, like most young girls, I became the walking version of what I saw in my mother mostly. We had no knowledge of any kind of planned pregnancy. We just enjoyed the relations we were having. And I had, siblings around me that were already promiscuous. And so I, did a little of that as well, right? Okay. And that's why I'm warning my generations now. Listen, it doesn't matter who it is. If it is something that you ought not to be doing, then you're going to have enough strength to shut it down. Just don't be a part of it. Okay. Our family. So I moved in with. I'm sorry, my boyfriend, my high school boyfriend, and I mentioned that earlier. We got together after high school. We both went to college. We started out in college, and then thought that the most important thing for our lives was that we were to be together, and college was then going to have to take us a second seat. So that is those relations I talked about. We expanded. Our first child, um, we had our first daughter, and like I said, there was nothing about planned parenting. I was very I had grown up a very strict religious background, and during this time, I was sowing my royal oats, which means that my convictions that I had growing up, I set on the shelf, and went to sow my royal oats. And so, my first beautiful daughter, and then our second beautiful daughter, we moved in and lived together. And at that time, they were calling it a common law. But we really were being disobedient because we should not have first of all, should not have been having relations, and second of all, we should have not moved out and moved in together until we were married. And the trend, of course, at that time was what they called common law. Okay, well, we fell into that as well. But we recovered. Getting on track was a process of lots of prayer and deliberate decisions. So as the girls were growing, there was a lot of early years doing things that were immature and downright foolish. Our children really were a blessing because we were forced to grow up, to get it together, because it was not about us. It then became more about them. And so then our life growing up changed. We became people that got back to the foundations that we were taught. We were back in the church, trying to guide our girls in the way that they should go, and that became the realization for us. After realizing that, and we were working every day, we were being discriminated against in every way possible. All promotion opportunities, that good jobs, fire department. For me, working in corporate offices, it all became this whole big joke, I must say. So after realizing that discrimination was holding us back, we both then returned back to college because that was the lie we were told. Okay, that if we get our college degrees, that was going to make a difference in our earning capacity, and we were going to be able to break through some of those glass ceilings. Um, and so the degrees we got, we did go and we finished up college, and these were things that we've done over the years together. So the greatest lessons learned: do not engage in having sex. Abstain until you know your passions. Build a steady path to income. Do not become parents because you need time to figure out who you are and explore life. It's not that you can't recover. It's not that beautiful expansion of life is not the best thing in the world, but it's better if you're better prepared um, to set a better example for your children. Okay, children are scary. It's a scary process if you do it young. I mean, listen, nobody has a book that can walk you through parenthood. And so you want to make sure that you take your time, prepare. And I know that we're living in generations now. And like I said, this was back during our days, folks, 50 and older. So that's my advice that I want to leave to my youngins and descendants in my family. Take these years of your 20s to really learn who you are and the type of person you are, adding positive vibes to you. If you're going to have friends, which you will, and you'll have boyfriends and you'll engage, but you need to understand who you are before you allow them into your personal space or enter into a serious relationship. All right. Always seek good advice from your parents and the people who are good mentors, and follow it. Don't be afraid to stand alone. If you're standing in for what's right, stand. Trust what's been put in you. Um, and trust the law. For me, God is the priority, and that's basically for many of us. That's the way we grew up, right? All right, so then we go on to the trail of truth for the fall season. These are the 35, 30s, and the 40s. Sins of tradition now, leading to ignorance being passed down. Traditions are very important at this time. Creating those fun memories for the family was a priority during this time. Having fun on purpose. These are things that never really get old. Many years of discrimination and fighting against the glass ceiling, the limitations and false hopes, which led to all kinds of career assassinations that I experienced, and so did, and so trips, with the family and gatherings with the family were really the most exciting times of life. And we really cherish and value that. Like I said, we got them degrees by now, and um, personal goals. We had achieved that as a personal goal, and then to walk into the environment where we were working, thinking that somehow that was going to make a difference. I'm sorry to say, but last hired, first fired has been the tradition of an oppressive system, and it hasn't changed. It looks worse today than it did even back then. But I'm glad that we can share with our young people and expose them to these truths so they don't get, sabotaged with the same games of all that false hope in things that really don't do anything but bog them down. So we want to make sure that we share that. Say no to racism. There's a lot going on, but what I will say is invest in your gifts. Find out what your gifts are, your strengths are, and then you begin to start to nurture those, identifying. Your time is so much better spent identifying your gifts and then creating walking that path to be able to share back your gifts, because people will, if it's your gift, then you've been set in this earth to give that gift, and you will find that you will find people that you can then market yourself to in that way. Okay, so that the paper is good, degrees are good, but they should only be that second part of your plan, because they're not turning out to um, be really worth the time that it cost you to put into them. Okay, find your passions, become an independent operator. Entrepreneurship while learning in college. If you're going to college, make sure that you can pursue your entrepreneur, your gifts, your talent. Do not put too much stock in those degrees, all right? Make sure to become an expert in your field of interest and be the best so people want to pay you for what you know and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Listen, there is no other way in life but to go back to the beginning when you were told what those rules and the spiritual laws were. Go back to them. Find your way back and keep living according to them. There are too many things that are going on where people are being sabotaged and set up and hoodwinked and set in situations, especially with the advent of technology. They're not being careful enough. And it's putting a lot more power in the hands of enemies than the enemy ever should have had. And we've kind of been forced into a situation where we're needing to find ways to use that same technology to vindicate then some of the misconceptions that are being put out there. And it also gives us an opportunity to find a way to be vindicated. We know that the Lord is the one that truly vindicates us, but we also know that if we use the technology wisely, that is Him allowing us to be vindicated. All right, mind your business. Do not tell the boss and your coworkers everything about your life. Find people that you can trust, but make sure that you vet them. Make sure that they are the kind of people that can protect you and care enough about you to protect what's important to you, so that your business doesn't wind up on the social networks out there foolishly being mishandled. Okay. Um, and then 50 and beyond. All right, legacy builders. This is what we're talking about. Blessings of enlightenment, which lead to wisdom and the liberty. Oh my God knew my heart needed love. So He sent me grandchildren. I have 5 beautiful grandchildren. And I say grandchildren because they are the third generation. Um, First, second, and grandchildren represent the third. And that's a blessing. This is a time of great joy and can be of great unhappiness too. I mean, depending on where some of the decisions that you make, right? You got to keep it real. If the problems some of the problems that you've had in your life have not been resolved, and they do become bigger if you're married, and that nest empties out. So you have to be aware that definitely can happen. All right. um, family, making sure you're passing down your spiritual beliefs to your children. Let them decipher to it, but they have to be taught. There's no way to survive in an oppressive system without laws that govern humanity that are bigger than those that governments set up, because governments certainly can um, make laws that are not to your advantage. So you have to be able to live above them. And the only way that you can do that is to trust in the spirit that the Lord gave your grandparents and your great grandparents. If they survived using those commands and statutes, then you need to do the same. Some of them may change because we are to grow and mature. Depends on what God is doing and what season. Um, so I say, just grow up, grow in it. All right. Don't be afraid to change. If God is downloading in you something new, take it, because He's trying to pull you to another place. And as we are living in the end times, which is the urgency for talking about these kinds of things, video legacy blogs and leaving family heirlooms. These are things that are very appropriate conversations right now. And they certainly are better conversations than some of the mess that's going on with the name calling and the pathetic nature of people that are supposed to be elders. In the way that they're operating right now. So we want to change the narrative, and let's focus on the things that are worthy to be focused on. All right. All right, so that emptiness, it can be a crisis. Menopause is another thing. So as we grow older, we have to be in a good place in our relationships, right? Um, Especially when we've avoided the warning signs in early years. If you're in a bad relationship, you're not gonna be able to get away with not addressing those issues. They're gonna continue to rise. But your family is really where the meat of the matter as you get older is going to be. And so stay in touch with your family. And the families are going. There's always going to be disputes. There's always going to be things that are unsettling. But what you want to do is just don't let the walls build up, and you hope that well that you know that the unrealistic hope is that you don't get painted in a box by family when you're trying to move in a direction that expands your life. But most times you find family just wants you to stay like you are, but you can't do that because you can't grow in the way that you need to grow sometimes. Your growth requires you to change. And so that's one of those crisis areas that you might run into with your family, but love them just the same. After working for others and being denied so many great opportunities that I thought I had, it all boils down to fight the good fight, trust in the Lord. He will guarantee you rest. All right? Just fight the good fight, trust in the Lord, and He will guarantee all the rest. Greatest lessons learned if you have kids, it is not about you. Okay? Make all the changes you need to give them the best of yourself, and do not fear what you don't know, but fear your unwillingness to sacrifice what you know. And do not try to change others. When they show you who they are, listen, you believe them and allow them to be who they are. All right? We've got a lot going on here. Greatest lessons continuing. Listen to your heart. It will not misguide you. Train your emotions to come under subjection when logic is needed. Thanking your parents and your elders. Always be in a thankful mindset. Learn your strengths and weaknesses. Be willing to change and do not try and change others. I say that again, right? Some of the key words I think I want to leave. Relax. Do not sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff. To my tribe, I love you. All right? This is your life. Do what you love and do it often. All right? And some of the other ones that I thought were I look back and I see mama, I see nana, I see sister, I see friend, I see niece, I see cousin. These are the many roles that we have to play. And so we want to teach like Paul, fight like David, build like Noah, obey like Daniel, read like Moses, and love like Jesus. All right. So we want to um, thank you for watching. But this is the example of the kinds of things that we're hoping that you will be preparing. And this is just an example. You can prepare your legacy blog with the kinds of captions and the kinds of information that works best for your tribe, for your family, to be handed down. But we did want to make sure that you did have something to work from. So again, this file will be made available to you, and it is in a PDF. So when you send in your submission and you are ready to go forward with participating, then this is what you will receive. All right. So that is the video log challenge example. And I know that there's probably a lot of questions that are going to come as a result of it. And like I've said, all I want you to do, just email us. Email Tiphyah, Tiphyah, at gmail.com, and we will get your questions answered. Make sure, again, that you put in your subject area VLOG, video log contest, and that way your messages will be responded to immediately. All right, as soon as possible. We'll try and make sure that we always have a 24-hour turnaround. Remember the deadline, July 31st, Thursday. You want to go ahead and make sure that you get the file emailed over to us. And then lastly, make sure that you have any questions that you have, just email them to us. All right. So we're excited. We think this is going to be a great opportunity for many of us to go about doing something that is very positive, that is very long lasting in our lives, that we can spend some time just enjoying and discussing and talking about. So the other thing that you will see is we're not going to do it here, but I do want to share with you the other ways that we're going to be looking for sponsors, and we're looking for people right now that want to sponsor. But The other way that you can help us right now with this particular challenge is that we're looking for people that actually will support our merchandise line. And so our merchandise line, we've got several items in the merchandise line. We've got T-shirts, we've got tote bags, we've got hats, um, and all of this has a focus around generational information and biblical information. So this is another way. Our website is the store where you go is generationsvibe.com. Go to the store, take a look at the products, and in order to support this contest, we hope that you will not only join the contest, but that you will want to have a piece of the memorabilia from us. And we can certainly use the support in purchasing from our store. All right. So we're going to prepare to close out for today. And we want to thank you very much for participating. And again, please send us an email and let us know that you're planning to participate in the video log challenge that we're kicking off today. All right, there'll be more to come. So just keep your eyes and ears open, and we will be talking a lot about this contest going forward. Have a great, 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 blessed evening.